What do you do with the waste from building nuclear bombs? You load it into bullets. It begins in 1942, a desert in New Mexico, the most classified project in human history, the Manhattan Project. 130,000 people, $2 billion. 3 years. The sole objective? Split the atom before Hitler did. They succeeded, and when they did, they changed warfare, geopolitics, and energy forever. But here is the part nobody tells you about the Manhattan Project. The bomb required enriched uranium, highly radioactive, weapons-grade material. Extracting it left behind an enormous amount of waste. Dense, heavy, barely radioactive, essentially useless. Or so they thought. In the 1970s, the Pentagon had a problem. The Soviet Union had developed tank armor that NATO ammunition could not penetrate. They needed a denser, harder material for armor-piercing rounds. The answer was sitting in warehouses. 500,000 metric tons of leftover nuclear waste, depleted uranium. It is 68% denser than lead. It self-sharpens as it penetrates armor, boring deeper with every millimeter of steel. And it is pyrophoric, meaning it ignites on impact. Whatever is inside the tank, it burns. The military called it the silver bullet. It was essentially free. Nuclear waste repurposed into the most effective tank killer ever built. In the 1991 Gulf War, U.S. forces fired 782,000 depleted uranium rounds. In the 2003 Iraq invasion, over 300,000 more. In 2023, the United States sent 120mm depleted uranium rounds to Ukraine for use in M1 Abrams tanks. Britain had already sent them months earlier. The same element that powered the bomb that ended World War II is now being fired across the fields of Eastern Europe. Nuclear waste, turned into a weapon, deployed in active conflict. Right now, the old nuclear plant costs $15 billion and takes 15 years to build. The new one fits on a football field. So why is nobody talking about this? For 70 years, nuclear power meant one thing: a colossal, multi-billion-dollar construction project, 15 years to build, 10 years of regulatory approval, cost overruns so catastrophic they became industry legend. The Vogtle nuclear plant in Georgia, approved in 2012, budgeted at $14 billion. Final cost, $35 billion. 7 years behind schedule. Hinkley Point C in the UK, projected at £18 billion in 2016. Current estimate, £46 billion. Still not built. This is the problem with traditional gigawatt nuclear. The energy is extraordinary. The economics are catastrophic. A conventional plant costs $6,600 per kilowatt of capacity, before overruns. And overruns, in nuclear, are not the exception. They are the rule. So the industry asked a different question. What if you did not build it on site? What if you built it in a factory? Standardized, modular, stackable. Enter the small modular reactor, SMRs. A single SMR produces up to 300 megawatts, about a quarter of a conventional plant. It fits on the footprint of a football field. Construction time, 3 to 5 years instead of 15. And crucially, the first unit starts generating power while the next ones are still being assembled. In May 2025, Canada gave the green light for the first commercial SMR in any G7 country, at Darlington, Ontario. 4 GE Hitachi BWRX 300 units. Total cost, $15 billion. First power by 2030. Tech companies are not waiting for governments. Google signed the world's first corporate SMR purchase agreement in 2024. Amazon committed to 5 gigawatts of SMR capacity by 2039. Microsoft reopened 3 Mile Island. By 2030, AI data centers will consume electricity equivalent to all of Japan, and only nuclear can deliver the 24/7 baseload power they need. But here is where it gets complicated. A 2025 report by the International Energy Agency estimated SMR overnight costs at $10,000 per kilowatt. That is 50% more expensive than a conventional nuclear plant, before a single module has been built at scale. The promise of SMRs is factory production, mass manufacture bringing costs down. The problem is that promise has not been proven. Argentina's prototype SMR has seen costs rise 600% since 2013. NuScale's flagship US project saw costs jump 75% before it was cancelled. The question is not whether SMRs can work. Russia and China have proven they can. The question is whether the West can build them fast enough, cheap enough to matter.